Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in the past, present, future, wherever and whenever you are. Welcome to another scene in the Living World of Darkness, Changeling 20th venue. We find ourselves slightly bit in the future as today is a Tuesday in the evening, but we're going to be fast forwarding just a little bit. If you will forgive us and permit us this little bit of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly shenanigans. We are having brunch on Wednesday morning, around 11 o'clock. I have the name of the restaurant here. The Friend of the Farmer, a locally owned restaurant in Manhattan. Family owned since 1986. It's definitely a place of a certain slight historical significance, not much, but it is a very cozy sort of area. It has that nice rustic feel in the middle of the bustling high-rise. And sitting there, observing the menus, is not too far from the window, is Charles and Alice. Alice having been dragged away rather unexpectedly from her own honeymoon, and Charles, just needless to say, just the force of his presence has definitely amplified since the last time Alice has seen him, and it's definitely something that, like, most people have gotten, more than one person has gotten distracted, like gazing in his direction, and sometimes his word, people trying to like listen to what he has to say as though it's the most interesting thing in the world, even though it's probably not that interesting, as he orders from the waiter, who's writing things down. But eventually, they're given at least a slight little bit of privacy as they turn matter to business at hand.
Thank you for seeing me on such short notice.
Of course. Actually, to be honest, I was surprised you wanted to have brunch on a Tuesday when you were going to be going on your honeymoon.
Well, that was one of those last-minute, spur-of-the-moment decisions to leave as quickly as we did. Maybe, fortunately, the news got to us in time that we can still have our brunch.
Indeed. And his words just like roll like it's like molasses almost, like it's some kind of warm blanket, like it's almost embracing you and feeling you warm, reminding you of like summer days long past, and yet at the same time there's just this deep ache in your heart, like icicles starting to prick at them, of cold and half-forgotten bittersweet tears of those same nights.
Conversely, Charles can see on Alice's face something he hasn't seen before, which is barely contained rage, anger, fire. Almost as if her art had become manifest in her very being. His appearance may give her icicles, but simultaneously there is a burning hell where a hole in their heart does exist. The casualty report came in. The death count is still rising. I think it's going to exceed 50.
I'm sorry that I didn't manage to get to all the guests before I managed to put a stop to it.
You did what you could. At least you were there. Originally, I wanted to talk to you because As I said at the wedding, you and I haven't talked much.
No, I don't believe we have. But this is a good start to change all that.
Honestly, I'm hoping we can become friends.
That'll be interesting if we do.
Because I need someone I can trust for how plans have changed. Someone I can trust in the courts.
I am your, well, he sort of pauses, he thinks about it before like trying to find a good way to like find the right words to say it without saying to, alert people of like, baronies and stuff like that, because, that's not something you'd always talk about completely in public. Just find little euphemisms he's trying to find, but he manages to find one. He's like, well, I am you and your husband's advisor, I would like to think.
So I'm going to cut to the chase. You know, my husband's father has taken ill. And someone in the business is going to have to inherit the fortune, should the worst come to pass. In marrying my husband, I'm not just joining his household, I'm perhaps taking a certain name as well. Swearing to be with him in more than just one way. I wasn't originally going to do it, but the protesters have changed my mind.
In what way did they change your mind? What sparked it?
She's trying to compose herself, but Maxine. That changed my mind.
So, where do you chart your new direction now, your new purpose?
Focusing the efforts of the family business towards doing something about these protesters. Bringing them perhaps some dessert. Justly.
The best desserts are often the just ones.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the story of John the Baptist and how that ended.
He does have academics. He probably does. He has academics in literature, actually. So, yeah, he probably does. Yeah, it's like, a very satisfying idea. Although if I were to put it right, I'd rather not just follow in the footsteps of those that came before me. I'd rather blaze a new path, so to speak.
Now you're speaking my language.
Hmm.
That smile that he gave her, that
Mm.
murderous smile, actually makes her smile suddenly.
Mm.
An odd reaction,
Yep.
but she taps the table with her left index finger.
Mm.
Maxine knew exactly what I was capable of.
Mm.
I don't disapprove of certain actions that have to be taken in the name of justice. Hence why I need someone I can trust.
What are you thinking?
Well, I hear there's some instability in a neighboring business. There's some internal strife over who's going to be the next CEO.
There's just that sharp-toothed diamond smile just sort of has a wryness to it as he just sort of smiles at that. Yes. I'm sure it's going to get quite bloody soon.
Like sharks in the water.
Mm.
And now it's an internal matter, so my husband's company can't do anything about it. We're not thinking of any sort of, hostile takeover of their stock or anything.
Oh, of course not.
But a good businessman knows when to back a certain horse. Unfortunately, doing so would be so inadvisable. I hear, though, that there's certain individuals who are crossing lines. Your company, for instance.
Mm. Our company has always had how should I say it, a slight bit of independence as far as the most general branches are concerned.
So, if we happen to give you some assets, personnel, maybe some resources, you could put it to some sort of good use. I hear there's a charity case that is going on in Brooklyn right now that could use some support.
Yes. The Brooklyn branch has reached out to several of the other ones and have made sure that we are all aware of the situation. And per the protocol of our business, we are a family business is the best way I'm going to put it. We may not all be related to each other or anything like that, but we like to consider ourselves family. Everyone in their company is our brothers and sisters, and if any one of our brothers and sisters request aid, the rest are there to follow.
Oh, that's fucking adorable. She just pops.
Perfect timing. Yep. Ah. Cheo, welcome.
I still look at it, you. I have shit to say to you. Hey, look, you look different. I mean, you look like a dick. Now you look like a dick. Now you look like a pretty dick. But anyways, hey, and she'll like turn to Alice. Hey, Alice.
Hi, Shea.
You. But
why don't you pull up a chair, Shea?
she'll sit down. You all right, Alice?
No. Nothing's going to be the same very soon. William's not the only one who's going to be declaring some sort of radical move in the coming days.
Okay, what's happening?
I'm taking my husband's last name.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'm not gonna argue.
You
You're
know,
gonna. Oh,
Beaumain.
hell, I mean, if that helps you fight for your cause, you do it.
I hope William understands.
I'm not sure he will. It's William.
I don't think so either, but as some people I know understand, there is a certain level of political necessity to deal with certain problems.
I shall nod. Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna argue. You do what you want. And William, yeah, I'm not sure he's going to understand. Hey, it's William. He's a pain in the butt, but he's our pain in the butt. Maybe I'll smile. She'll smile. It's just still a very sad smile because of what they're talking about and what just happened recently. But she's one of those.
Sir Charles here was just being so kind as to explain to me the basic inner workings of his family business, and I was hoping he was going to take up and accept an offer of maybe transporting some things for my husband's business.
She'll nod.
You know, provided to a certain charity case in Brooklyn.
Wouldn't be what I would do, but you do. And I mean, my father has a lot of money too. I get it. And she'll look at Charles. By the way, you. And she'll like frown. You're an asshole, you know that?
I don't think I ever once denied that.
You fucking told Rebecca to make jokes about me fucking biting people.
And he pauses
That's
for a
funny.
moment. And he tilts his head. There's a small sort of frown. I don't recall that ever being funny.
Then don't tell Rebecca to make jokes about it.
I don't recall telling her to make jokes about it either.
Well, I don't know. That's what she told me, and
I would fully expect you to take her word over mine, of course. After all, mine's not worth shit, is it?
I mean, you're always out for yourself before anyone else. She'll just shrug.
It was worth something to Maxine, so it's worth something to me.
Anyways, and she'll breathe. Maxine wouldn't want our reaction to be like that, so I'm willing to put our differences aside if you're going to stop being an asshole to me.
Well, if that's the case, I want something in return.
What?
I want you to apologize.
For what?
And he turns, and it's very surreal is the way I'm going to do it. It's almost like if a stone statue just suddenly was crick 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 turning, And he looks right at her and he smiles so wide. Far too wide.
Okay, now you're just being fucking creepy. You know what? No, I never promised anything, and you were.
Oh, I think we shook hands on something quite specific.
Yeah, well,
And
shake
you
hands.
didn't and I find that your conviction lacks teeth, Shea. So I want you to apologize for changing horses midstream. Is this still not ringing a bell, Shea?
I'm sorry, but you, even then, still had whatever you wanted to do, your priorities in front of making me, in front of getting
That's
me a good
not the
sentence.
point, Shea. The point is, we made a deal, we shook on an agreement, and you decided that you didn't trust me to uphold the end of the bargain. So I want an apology, and I want it in front of William, Misha, and Hall. And then all's forgiven, and I'll stop being an asshole to you.
Sir Charles, is this something that you two need a moment for? I can get up and leave if it's something that would be better discussed without my presence.
All she needs to say is a simple yes or no.
You want this chill? What? Because I shake hands with people all the time. I shake hands with people when I first meet them. What's the big fucking difference? What's the big fucking deal about shaking hands?
I think.
Yep. No. Go ahead. I'll let her speak. Yeah.
I think Charles is trying to get across something subtle. I don't know what's involved, but knowing what I do about Maxine, I will assume it had something to do with a deal, the kind that people sign, shake, or do other things to hammer out. I'm sorry for being a little short-tempered, Shea, but please give the Honorable Sir Charles an answer because I really need to make sure certain people get dessert on a silver platter.
The most justly of platters.
Why do you want me to apologize in front of them?
That's my condition.
Yeah, well, shove it.
Very well.
So is everything unresolved?
Everything is unresolved.
Shea, I'm going to be honest. The next words that come out of my mouth cannot get back to anyone who's not at this table. She turns to Charles. In exchange for helping me through your family business, I know that it is appropriate to perhaps give you something in exchange. A little off the top, right?
Something along those lines.
Well, I don't think the personnel or equipment we would be sending would be all that useful to what your business does. And maybe what I'm offering would be better for you. Should my husband inherit his father's business with maybe a little assistance from your family, then that would leave an opening in our business. And I was thinking that you would be the perfect person to fill that role.
Would you now?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I can give you the basics, and then I can tell you my own personal thoughts.
Why not both? If nothing's leaving this table here.
All right. The basics is you're one of my husband's most loyal associates. You have, after all, been not only instrumental in solving some of the problems facing our company, but in helping weed out some personnel that needed to be perhaps moved on and let go. Logically, that should be rewarded with a promotion, but there's no positions available until a vacancy further up appears. Taking that a step further, you also you're much more politically cunning and knowledgeable, and you're better at this than I think Jessamine or Trin would be. And my opinion has a little bit of weight with my husband.
I would certainly say it does.
Personally, Maxine spoke highly of you. She trusted you. And I trust her judgment. Whenever anyone had a bad word to say about you, she always came to your defense. Whenever for even a brief moment, I would forget about my promise to help everyone, she would remind me you're part of everyone. The way she talked about you, you were, well, let's just say weird. She says her fingers are doing a V and with one of them coming down when she says that.
Yeah.
And that, but it was always said with the utmost respect. And if she thinks that highly of you, if you meant that much, considering her opinions of some people who work at the other branches of my husband's company, you must be someone not only worth getting to know, not only worth being friends with, but helping achieve your dreams. So I don't really know what your dreams are, but maybe this would help. Maybe this would allow you to achieve whatever beautiful or horrific or otherworldly, ethereal, or awe-inspiring dreams you might have.
Indeed it might. It just might. I'll leave you two for just a minute. I'm going to use the restroom, aka I'm getting a pen to write something down. One moment.
I'm sincerely sorry, Shea, for getting snippy.
Oh, it's okay. You don't know what happened. I don't trust him. You can trust him if you want.
Maxine trusted him.
Yeah, and you know why I don't trust him?
Why?
Because I saved his fucking life once. And
So,
after that, he still had his interest before trying to get me out of jail, before trying to get out of maybe getting killed. He still had his best interest in front of it.
Shea, I really don't know what happened before. I mean, I know that something did happen with you. No one really wants to talk about it. And I'm not going to make you. It's yours.
Maybe after this, just
But Maxine trusted him.
shut up.
Sebastian trusts him.
I'll tell you after this. When it's just the two of us.
All right. But my offer to him still stands, and I would really appreciate it as my friend if you didn't tell William until I had a chance to talk to him.
I won't tell William until you talk.
Thank you. I can't.
She'll put her hand on her shoulders. Okay, Alice. She'll hug her.
I don't want to interrupt your guys' in character moment here. This sounds like a good one, so just assume I'm still waiting.
She'll hug
Thank
her.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're all going through that time. She starts crying.
Say it. Don't cry. I don't want to cry right now.
She just hugs her tight, doesn't say anything.
I think that's what Charles is going to come back to.
Yeah, probably. And he sits on down. So let us make sure the terms of our agreement here are very clear. Nothing at this discussed at this table will be shared with anyone from any party here, save from myself and Alice between her husband and my house. And what exactly are we exchanging?
One stipulation, the exception being what you and I talked about, me joining my husband's last name.
Those of his family.
Because they might be involved.
Excellent. Nothing at this table will be shared with anyone by any party here, save from myself and Alice between her husband and my house, and those of his house. What are you wanting my house to do?
Any support for the charity case, and we should probably put the actual name in there, but you know who I'm talking about.
For the Motley known as Remember the 4th. To be, I'm assuming you mean, whatever aid given is subtly, as though it was my house and not his family's.
Or his business.
Or his business. I was like, remember the 4th to be handled discreetly from House Barrymon. As remember the 4th will be the day from House Barrymon. In exchange, until the matter with the business, he winks as he writes down barony, of Brooklyn is resolved. For good or ill. In exchange, should Sebastian be promoted, become count, you will ensure my own promotion. Rise to my ascension to Baron. Am I understanding this correctly?
Yes. And there's 2 parts we might need to fix there. 1, remember that the support could come from his business, not just his family.
Business. Yep. His family, and his house is basically what I put in there.
And 2, it might not be the business in Manhattan, depending on your own preferences with the openings. Because we don't know how many positions are going to open up. So I don't want to limit you to just one area.
I think I left it pretty open in that you'll ensure my own promotion, he said. It never specified where that promotion had to be.
Oh, I just wanted to be sure. It's a thing. After all, we don't know how everything is going to be reorganized, depending on David's reaction.
Yeah. He nods at that, and he writes things down. And he cleans it up a bit. So, to make this more official, nothing discussed at this table today will be shared with anyone save from myself and Alice, between her husband, his family, and his house. And my house. Should I uphold? Oh, sorry. My support. Okay. I'm sorry. I wrote this down as a fucking mess. Sorry.
It's quite all right.
Yeah. The I shall uphold my end of our agreement by by showing support for the motley known as Remember the Fourth to be what was it? Handled support to be handled. Remember the Fourth to be handled discreetly from House Baron and Sebastian's family until the matter with the barony of Brooklyn is resolved for good or ill. In exchange, should Sebastian become count, you will ensure my own promotion to baron. Does that sound agreeable?
It sounds entirely agreeable.
Then please sign.
There's one thing. We have to go get Sebastian for that because of the way it's
No.
worded.
The agreement's between for you and me and Shea, the people at this table.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, that made more sense then. I'm sorry, I was misunderstanding the wording there.
Please sign.
Done and done, she says, signing it.
Okay. And he signs. Shea, you can spit on it if you want.
Not. She shakes her head and sighs.
Okay. And that's my bunk for contract 1. It's actually he's just using it as a nice little he's using it as the bunk. The real binding is him using Faye, binding all 3 of them to this agreement. So let me roll. Unless there's disagreement with that, that sounds like a 2, since I can't go lower than that.
I would say, yeah, 2 works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have an ST, so. Mostly because you actually wrote out the contract.
Yep.
And I assume he wrote it out by hand, too?
Yep, he wrote it out by hand. And, yeah, the, contract's chimerical, so... Oh, no, not naming contract. And I'll spend 1 willpower on this. Good thing I did 2 successes. So it's a 2 success contract.
Okay.
As the final signature is put on there and Charles folds up the letter, everyone feels as though there's like the sound of thorn. Well, they almost feel like thorns are scratching upon glass as though etching the agreement into something eternal yet fragile. I'll make sure I write it up and share it with all you guys after the scene is over and make it clear after I re-listen to this over and over again to make sure I have all the wording right.
Yep, and then we'll share it with the STs to make sure that they aren't like broadsided by us.
Exactly. I look forward to this fruitful endeavor.
As do I. Thank you.
You are most welcome. And at that, his pager goes off. You'd think when you have a death in the Brooklyn PD, you would have at least a little bit more time for mourning, but no, duty calls regardless of all these things. Shea, you're more than welcome to have what I ordered. I already paid ahead of time. I'll leave you two to it. And that's for me to give you guys a chance to scene for a little bit together and me to indulge my flaw. So don't worry, I'll still be here. You guys go ahead and run with it as long as you want.
Take care, Charles. Be well. As soon as Charles has left, she will turn to Shea. See, nothing underhanded.
Yeah, nothing there.
Even if he does twist the wording, my intentions are as pure and true as they were to begin with.
I know, I trust you.
I want to help William. I want to help Maxine. And I had already promised myself that I was going to not just give Charles the benefit of the doubt or a chance, but honestly, not to assume. I mean, look around. We're in the greatest city. We've come this far, and we can do more as a group.
We can.
I'm probably the only person in this city who's not in some sort of motley, but you know,
I mean, I don't think he never is.
no, that makes sense. She has to keep her independence going, with that private business she's running. Am I doing the right thing?
Know what you know until it all happens.
Thanks, Shea.
I was hard. I'm glad you didn't have to see it. At least that was hard.
So you were going to tell me why you were so upset.
Perhaps. Oh, you see how they're waiting for food?
Yeah, but you guys don't have to stay if you don't want. You can skip out. He did say he already paid.
Perhaps somewhere more private.
Let's go for a walk.
I shall nod.
And the brunch never arrives.
So they go outside. She'll wait till they, are down the street a bit, find a nearby park, and bring Shay into it. Did this have something to do with? Well, it's your story.
Yeah, has to do with that. But there was a time last year where I don't know about well, I know all us changelings were having strange nightmares every night. Like it was the same nightmare we were all having.
Oh, William told
Somehow,
me about that.
and she'll nod. And well, one day Charles was talking to me, and well, from the way he was talking to me, it was clear that he literally told me that he thought it was all in his dream still. He thought he was still in his dream, still sleeping, that nothing happening was actually true. I tried to convince him it was, he didn't listen, and he tried to prove me by trying to insult a troll. That was it was a vixen. and he was one of the bouncers, and he tried insulting him. I think he tried to do one of his powers, and it didn't work. The troll went. The troll took him, and I know Trevor. Trevor was going to fucking kill him. I stopped it. I told Trevor I had it under control, that it was okay, that he was with me, and I saved his life. Because Trevor saw that he was, I think, figured that he was going to be attacked, or at least, well, didn't like the insults that he threw at him. And yeah, no, Trevor was going to kill him. I saved his life, and later came. I used to have a friend here, and we went to a bar, and they were having a fight night. And it was a changeling thing. It was for us. And the fights were going, and some people, well, someone lost their life but came back with, all of our magic shit. And then there was another fight where two people were supposed to fight, and one decided to drop the fight, to give up, because they said they wanted to live. And then came a fight with me and my old friend, and I attacked her, and I bit her, and I bit more than I wanted to. She tries to breathe. I with just one bite, I took her leg off. I killed her.
Alice puts an arm around her.
I yelled for people for help, and it came just thinking of it. She died, and took a lot to get her back. And obviously I was going to be tried for that. And what I did was wrong. I never said otherwise. I didn't do it on purpose, and she came back. And so, I mean, if it wasn't for that, I'm not even sure there was going to be a trial. They would have just killed me. I'm a red cap, come on. And so Charles put himself forward as one of my lawyers because he owed me his life because of what happened. But the way he worded it was weird. Even though I had saved his life, he still had his best interest in front of anything else. In front of getting me out of being killed. And then I thought that was weird. But I didn't want. I mean, otherwise, I was going to represent myself, right? And what are they going to believe of a red cap? And then I heard he was seen talking to the girl my friend that had the accident, the girl I killed, and someone else that clearly wanted me to die too, was talking to them. And that was weird. And with what he had said, I just wasn't sure if he really wanted me to be. I wasn't sure if he was going to do his best to get me out of getting killed or being thrown in jail forever. And so when another lawyer came, one that was represented a house and that had the backing of a house and that had good experience, I decided to go with him instead. I mean, yeah, okay, he can be upset that I went with someone else, but I saved his freaking life. He'd be dead if it wasn't for me. So I get that you trust him because Maxine trusted him, but I don't. She really. Kind of mascara a bit on her face now. She tries to wipe it out. You get where I'm coming from, right?
Maybe I'm just a fool. I mean, after all, I marry the she. I trust the she. William says I'm stupid.
I'm going to say people aren't bad because of their kid.
Well,
Look at me, I'm a red guy. And we
true.
have a lot of fucking assholes. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna deny that. I try to be a good person.
I think, honestly, I think it all comes down to benefit of a doubt. And it's, I'm, I'm sorry. I got into an argument with Dessa over this when she was locked up in her prison cell. It's not trust if you assume the worst or maybe again,
I get that. I just wanted me to apologize for what I'm going to apologize for for wanting the best, for doing what I thought was best. Me coming out of this whole mess alive. I don't think he's going to betray you. He gave his word for that. He made a bond, and I don't think, yeah, I think he's going to be true to what he said he was going to do. Just I can't apologize for what he wanted me to apologize.
Maxine said that I don't think enough about my life, about surviving. I've kind of jumped into everything a little recklessly. I mean, she was right. I jumped into a marriage. I tried to save lives, fix contracts, and everything else that I am just not capable of.
You're talking to me. Come on, I jump into everything.
What does it cost you to apologize?
Didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted to make it out of it alive.
I know.
And
And you were scared and you were worried that your lawyer didn't have your best interests at heart. You didn't trust him. He hadn't earned your trust.
No, I said I saved his life, and he still had his best interest in front of everything else.
So, and I really mean that, you don't have to. Saving someone's life isn't a marker. Do it for yourself. You shouldn't let. If you feel that he wasn't thankful enough for it, that would be on him. That's not something that should bother you. That's not something you should have to carry. I mean, I go around fighting. Okay, I used to fight nightmares, right? Before all this wedding stuff.
Sure not.
No one out there knows, much less cares. I was doing it for me. It was my dream, not theirs. So don't worry about it. I mean, what's your dream?
I want, I want the land where everybody's treated equal, when it doesn't matter what caste you are, people don't judge you for it.
All right.
And I want to be with my friends.
Sounds great. Well, if everyone's free, everyone's making their own decisions, that's all you can do. You saved a life. Now Charles is free to do whatever he wants to do, whatever that ends up being. One day he might tell me, he might not, but if I come through on this contract, at least he knows I'm trustworthy, and then I can move forward and help him realize whatever his dream is. And if he doesn't like me for it, then, or he doesn't care or isn't thankful, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I did what I wanted to do. And what I want to do is help people. Well, help people achieve their dreams as long as those dreams don't involve like murdering me or something, because that would just be creepy.
Yeah, that. I don't want to lose another friend. Trust me on that, Alice.
I'm sure that I'll be fine. I mean, Sebastian. Well, ironically enough, you're gonna have to trust Charles there. I mean, he is kind of the only knight left who can do anything to keep me alive.
Don't nod. You know that, well, we're not knights, but you know that, well, I'm sure Misha and William and I were all ready to protect you, right?
I know, but Misha, if I had to guess, is going to have some other things she has to get done first. And William, okay, William has his hands full. That charity situation is going to be a big deal for a while, and I need you to help William. I heard what you were able to do at the wedding. I heard what Charles was able to do. If you two work together, I'm pretty sure nothing can stop you. And there's going to be trouble coming. David is not going to let this slide. You know that, right?
Sure nod.
They're going to bring people. It's going to get bad.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of our friends who feel betrayed by what I just told you I'm going to be doing, who I'm making deals with, how I'm going about things.
Don't think anyone's. I think the biggest problem is going to be William. I love him, but hard to make him understand sometimes. And we can't tell you who to trust and who not to trust. That's your choice.
Right, but he specifically was against the idea of me joining, my husband's family, if you know what I mean.
You shall not. Be frank. The rest of us think it's your choice and you do whatever you want.
Right, but choices have consequences, and I'm becoming very well aware of that.
I mean, you're still going to be Alice Murray. You're still going to be yourself. You might change a little bit, but you're still going to fight for the same cause.
True. And part of that cause is going to be keeping the bloodshed to a minimum, which means, well, you know who can recognize a new head of a company? It's my husband's father. So, worst case scenario, I fail and those ranters get me too.
Over my dead body. They'll have to kill me if they want to get to you.
I'm not going to lose any more friends over this.
And I don't want to either. Not letting them get to anyone else. Not any of my friends.
Oh, come on, I'm going to be a dirty noble.
Hey, so I'm not a bit dirty. You shall smell.
Red caps, she says, rolling her eyes with a smile on her face. Thank you, Shea, for understanding. Now, if you don't mind, I have to get back to work.
I'm not. Okay. Hey, hi to Sebastian.
I will. You should stop by sometime.
I will.
I mean, all I have is Charles and Sir Christian to keep me company, and one of them has a job, and the other one has a suit of armor.
Shall not.
And
I'll stop
Alice
by.
will go her separate way.
And with that, we will end this scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in the past, present, or future, wherever and whenever you are. Bye-bye.